deprivation.com, and welcome to another Wednesday Ways to Save. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Ash Wednesday, the start of the lentil season for anyone who is observant. Thank you so much for tuning in on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Again, my name is Nicole, and today I want to, of course, start with a few updates for my No Spend Challenge and then go right into today's discussion. It's going to be a lot shorter than last week, hopefully. So thank you again for watching, and let's get started. First, my no spend week was pretty good. I have thus far over the past 6 weeks saved close to $2,400 that I am reallocating into new savings funds. And I did have to spend a few things, including a new backpack for Little Miss. I don't even know what happened to the messenger bag, like craziness. I don't know how little people and teachers, I don't know, but something happened to it. It had to be fixed. And, let me get that timer. I apologize for that. I, as a vegan, have to remind myself sometimes to be on an eating schedule, so that's what that was. As well as, back to what I was saying, I did have to buy a new messenger bag, and I had to renew something for our appliances to extend a couple warranties. So I did have to spend for that. So I spent $87 last week on household necessities, but in the grand scheme of things, as I hadn't had to spend for 2 weeks previous to that, including not having to buy groceries this week and just relying on what we had on hand, I'm going to consider that a success. And so I'm pretty good with that in terms of my overall progress for my 2018 No Spend Challenge. Also wanted to mention that again on the ladypreferstosave.com/printables, there is already up this week's printable about the discussion that you're about to hear. And there is also under the meal tab section, there's a brand new printable for this week's menu plan. So go ahead and grab one of those. I will leave links after this broadcast below so that you can get all those free goodies to help you with your week and going into next week as well. And then in terms of this week's discussion, I really want to focus on an email that I received from a group member of one of my savings communities. And she sent a very pointed email, not so much about my efforts or my blogging, but she felt very uneasy about her finances. She wasn't finding her own No Spend February to be living up to her expectations. She said she felt very defeated and defaced, and overall, she felt that having a budget in any capacity was about deprivation, and she felt deprived, and she wasn't sure that she could continue on. So today I want to address some of those concerns and how I feel that you can kind of turn that mindset around a little bit. So these are my thoughts on how to make a budget not feel like you're being deprived in 2018. Because, you know, anybody who has an opinion about your budget is going to leap at the opportunity to tell you that cutting stuff out of your life is the only way to save. Not spending, not shopping, not utilizing sales circulars or things that you have. And it's true that you do need to cut back on your expenses. This is an essential part of balancing your budget and any no spend challenge or just being a savvy saver. This is something you'll have to do. But that doesn't mean that depriving yourself is any part of the necessity or the consistency of having a budget at home. Self-deprivation is not the same as being frugal. Being frugal and cost-cutting is about finding the least expensive way to do the things that you need to do, want to do, or things that make your life better, that help you thrive as a person. Self-deprivation is just saying no to everything. And ultimately, it's usually at the expense of yourself, your mood, and your betterment. The only way that you'll actually become debt-free is through balance in both spending and savings, in how you allocate and how you plan to allocate funds in the future. And as we all know, there's nothing motivating about not spending a penny and living a life of survival and bare existence and scrimping by every day. And while you could say it's easier for those of us who are already debt-free, who've already went through that journey, but friends, I am here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be in a constant survival mode. You can be about motivation and changing your mindset without deprivation. Because you have to also consider the other extreme. You can't be a constant spender. You know, there's nothing exciting about continuously spending money on things that you don't need to impress people that aren't really invested in you, or to put value in things that are not bringing consistency and quality to your life. It has to be balanced between the needs and the wants. And that all starts with having a goal in mind, having a goal of not being on a budget, but a spending plan. Not a spending budget, but a plan, a goal-centric plan on how your money will be allocated each month. You have to create limits that add value to your life without leaving you feeling empty and deflated. And part of balancing your budget is about making the conscious choice to change your lifestyle to fit your means. Whether that means your financial means, whether it means life decisions, whether it means a business acquisition, those choices have to fit the means and not the other way around. And deprivation just doesn't fit into that dynamic, because deprivation will leave you exhausted and financially bitter. And that bitterness and that devoid black space is where debt comes from. It is the masquerading of temporary euphoria. That is what debt is, and that's how it creeps into your life. It makes you feel like you need this right now to emotionally satiate whatever is going on in your life, and that's not going to help you in the long run. And then, you know, let's just look at today and take today as an example. You would think, what does Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day have to do with each other? I mean, at first glance, these 2 days are diametrically opposed to one another. And while these holidays, you know, seemingly appear that way, it's also something interesting to think about. They haven't crossed on the calendar since 1945. And a lot has changed in the world in those 72 years, but you know what? People still face constantly the same issues. The world's constantly changing. Bills seem like they can't get paid. There's guilt from not being able to buy your loved ones the gifts that you feel and are perceived to you and marketed to you that they need to have on that specific day. And then there's the dread that comes from putting yourself on the budget and feeling like you'll not be able to make the before mentioned. But the thing is, it's not about what you're doing now. It's not about what you're giving up today. It's about making prudent, frugal choices right now that will ensure that you can live your loveliest life later on. It's just financial planning. It's just goal setting. It's just wealth management. It's finding alternative ways to lavish your loved ones with the money that you have, those means today, for the immediate future. And the great thing is, a lot of times in love, in spirituality, and in finance, those things usually cost absolutely nothing. Deprivation is not part of the debt-free journey. It's not how you become debt-free. Common sense goal setting is, and that will be the only way to remove the bondage of that debt from your life. It's about the mindset. If you think that you're not going to succeed, if you think you'll never pay that off, you never will. But you can change that today, and it starts with yourself. Give yourself permission to succeed, financially and otherwise. And to my reader who inspired today's broadcast, I want you to know, you beautiful soul, you fabulous savvy saver, you person of worth and equity in your own right, it will get better. Debts will be paid. Money will come. Money will be exchanged. It is fluid. Things will definitely be on the upswing for you. And I'd like to leave you with the words of the eternal Dolly Parton, who said, "One is only poor only if they choose to be. I hope those words will resonate with you, my friends, and to my reader, I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for everyone in the savings group. I'm pulling for everyone in my communities and all of my readers. I am truly blessed and humbled to be able to help you in any way that I can. And so with that, I like to leave you with this. Please be kind to yourself and to others, and have a wonderful rest of your day ahead. Thank you so much for watching, and have